Ladies and gents, welcome to the video. I'm Get Good Guy, and this is Zombie Army 4 Did War, fresh out today. Thank you Rebellion for the pre-release code. And because it's fresh out, I know a lot of people get very confused when they first turn the game on, go into the settings and wonder what does what they should be picking, all that kind of stuff. So, as I've done for some games before, I'm going to go through each setting, tell you the functionality of them, and help you to decide what you want to do with each one for your best overall performance. I am still kind of sick today, so if my voice is off and if the things jump around on screen a little bit, it's because I'm doing cuts because I'm coughing a lot, so we'll do our best. And let's get into this. So, I'm going to go through everything, the boring stuff as well as the more important stuff. Tutorials. If you've never played the game before, so here we are, tutorials, maybe leave these on to let you know what you should be doing in game. Very simple. If you don't want any of that, if you want to learn on your own, turn them off. They have done it in a weird way, by the way, where if you've got it selected, it looks different for, I think you see what I'm saying there, but you'll work it out, you'll see what I'm saying. Empty long zoom. I'm going to leave this on because if you turn this off, you're losing part of the functionality of the game. My rule for the game is going to be if you go and play and you don't like any of these things, then you can come back and turn them off. But I would leave them all on as standard, all these things that are actually functions of the game. Allow photo mode shortcut. If you are someone that likes to do in-game photos, turn this on. You'll be able to use the left stick and right stick to go into photo mode. That's not something I'm bothered about unless I'm going to do thumbnails. So actually, having said that, I am going to leave it on for that reason. But if you find you don't do that and you've got it turned on and you're accidentally going into photo mode, maybe just come and turn it off. Show scoreboard on HUD. This enables, as I can read up there, a persistent scoreboard on screen in cooperative games. I can't see why not have that unless you want to be extra immersed, so I'm going to leave that on. Again, if you go and do co-op and you don't like that, come and turn it off. Bullet kill cameras. You can actually choose how often the bullet kill camera comes up. So you know the slow-mo, it shows you how they died and all that kind of stuff. Normal, I'm going to leave it at, but if you want more, you can do more. If you want even more, you can do even more. You can have none, etc. So normal for me. And then you can choose if you want, there are traps in the game. If you want to see the kills from traps, leave this on. If you don't, turn it off. If it starts to get annoying, again, come and turn it off. Quick cameras only. So that'll mean it's only the quick bullet kill cameras that show up if you have that one selected. Not sure why they have that there and then these options, but regardless. Co-op, bullet kill cameras, again, the same but in co-op. I'm going to leave that on, but what I can imagine is if you're playing with someone, maybe the bullet kill cameras become really annoying when you're playing at the same time as someone else, so keep that in mind if you want to turn it off. And then x-rays, of course we're going to leave x-rays on. Who doesn't want to see the x-rays of you shooting through people? And yes, I am going to keep flubbing over my words because my throat is horrible today. Privacy settings, I'll show you this. This is probably nothing very important, but if you don't want the company getting your information while you're playing, turn that off. I'm just going to leave it. I'm not particularly bothered. Onwards to controls at the top there. Auto reload. This will reload your gun when you run out of bullets. This is pretty standard for a lot of shooters, I think. I'm going to leave it on. If you don't like that, then you know what to do, but I think most people prefer to have that on. It means that you won't just... There was a loud noise outside. Ignore that if you can hear it. It means that you won't be running around without ammo without realizing it. So your guy will, or your girl will automatically reload. Invert X-axis. This is where, and invert Y-axis. If you play the opposite, where you play inverted, then obviously you want these on. So up will be down, down will be up, that kind of thing. Most people won't want that, but if you go and play and you find that it's not steering like a plane, as some people do, then you need to come and turn one of these on, whichever it is you prefer. Vibration. Vibration is very important to me. I like to know when I'm being hit, and I've always been used to using vibration. And if you want the full experience, then have vibration on. But if for you it's all about performance and you're aiming, if you can get used to not having vibration on this game and lots of other shooter games, it's good to not have vibration because it won't be messing with your aim. Something I've always said to people, it's better to not have vibration for your own performance, but I just can't get used to it. I need it. It feels weird without it, so I'm leaving it on. Enable scope range adjustment. Right, most games with sniper rifles and things with scopes don't have this. It's off as default. I'm going to turn it on. If you use something like Battlefield, for example, you can play with certain scopes to change the range at which you are sniping at, if that makes sense. So Sorry, excuse me. As the description up there says, allows scope crosshair position compensation for bullet drop, available on difficulty levels where bullet drop is enabled. If you don't want to mess around with any of that and you just want to use your scope as standard, then cool, just have this off. But if you want the option of changing it based on different ranges, then have it on. And if you want it to remember the zoom level you were last on when you leave zoom and come back to it, have it on that. If you don't, if you want it just to reset back to normal every time, have this one off. I'm going to have it on, get used to it and see what I like and come back and change it if I need to. Right, an aim assist menu. Here we go. So, aim assist sensitivity reduction. This is when you are aiming at someone, how much it slows down. And you're only going to know what you like by playing or if you've had previous experience of doing this. So, there's strong, there's off, there's weak, there's moderate. Moderate is going to just be the average, basically. Go and play, see what you like, come and turn it up or down. Aim assist snap to target ADS. This is when you aim near to an enemy and it locks you to them. Some people like this, some people don't. I'm going to play with both and see what I like. But a lot of people get very frustrated. They feel like they want to do the aiming rather than the game do it for them. Aim assist sensitivity reduction on scope. Same thing but on scopes. I don't want that. I don't want it to be slowing down when I've got a scope. Some people will, some people won't. And I don't want it locking onto the target when I got a scope either, but some people will. If you do, turn it on, don't turn it off. And allow aim assist for keyboard and mouse. That's nothing to do with us today, but I don't know if I mentioned at the start. This is for console, although some of it will apply to PC as well. But if you are playing with keyboard and mouse on console, you can decide if you want aim assist or not. Out of there. Sensitivity settings. So, camera sensitivity, X and Y. So X is your horizontal, your left to right, and Y is your vertical, your up and down. You're only going to know by playing. Again, I'm going to leave these all as standard, but if something is too slow, turn it up. If something is too quick, turn it down. The same applies for all these, so when you're aiming and when you're in a scope, okay? Nothing particularly difficult, but if you feel like you can't get to the target fast enough when you're aiming, turn it up. If you feel like you're over-aiming, you're overshooting the target, as in going past it and having to come back, then turn it down. Okay, there's a prime example of me doing a cough, because I coughed for about 3 straight minutes and I had to get water. Auto center view. If you've played games before where if you didn't touch the stick or anything for a while, and it auto centers you back to the middle, so it takes your aiming and your overall look, your view back to center, then have that on if you're used to it. If not, then it might get kind of weird for you. I'm going to have it off. I can control my own camera, thank you. Mouse acceleration, mouse smoothing. I don't play with a mouse, but you will know what that is if you use a mouse. It's just basically how it performs when you're using it. And I'm not going to go into mouse and keyboard because, again, I'm playing with a controller, and most people on console will be. But you can just change what things do, basically. You can change your key bindings, which is frustrating to see because when you go on controller layout, all you can do is choose between 2, and I think this is pretty terrible in this day and age, and I'll tell you why. So for example, in most games, I like to use crouch on my right stick. We can see here that right now the right stick is to melee, right? Well, if I choose the legacy one to try and get that, I now can crouch with the right stick, but it changes a ton of other things for me in places where I don't want them. Unfortunately, there's only 2 layouts. I can't tell you what's going to be best for you. You're going to have to just work it out, but neither of them are optimal for me, unfortunately. And I wish games would just let you bind your own buttons on a controller. It would be way better, but alas, not every game does. So it's up to you what you want. If you want to crouch with the stick, if you want to melee with the stick, those are the 2 main differences out of these, I think. And then a few other things change as well, which you can't alter. A real shame, never mind. Going back, up to display. Brightness, you know what that means. Motion blur, I've got that off. This is where if you spin around, it kind of replicates when you look around the real world. You know how it becomes kind of blurred? Well, I don't want that when I'm playing. It makes me feel sick. I just want it to look the same regardless, so I have that off. If you struggle with that, turn it off as well. Graphics mode, quality or performance. Okay, so quality will be the graphics are as good as they can look on your platform, and then performance is for your frame rate and for your, everything to do with your overall performance of the game, so it looks more smooth. Go and play with both, I guess, and see what you like. If you want to be immersed, enjoy the experience, and take in all the graphics, go with quality. If you just want to go and shoot things and not have frame rate drops and stuff, then performance. We'll see what happens when I play. on to audio. Master volume, just how loud the game is, basically. There you go, that was smart. Music, if you want to just enjoy the experience, then do as you please with the music. Now, if you're a content creator, I could feel a cough coming. If you're a content creator, then maybe consider having this down. So someone like myself has this down because I don't want it to get in the background when I'm using other background music. I don't want it to be playing when I'm trying to do a live commentary, stuff like that. But for most people, you'll want to have it on. It's just for me. I'm gonna have it down. Speech, sound effects, voice chat, all this. You can toggle with this as you go along, see what you like. It's gonna be completely up to you. And then you can change the actual volume of the voice lines being said in the game. And audio output, if you are playing on a big set of speakers, go full range. If you're using headphones, go headphones. If you're on a TV, use TV. It's not hard. You'll be able to work it out. Most of you use headphones, I imagine, if you're playing a game. Most people use headphones for a game, but it's up to you what you want to do. Accessibility. Now, here we go. Subtitles, going to have them off, but if you want them on, you can change your text color so it stands out to you more. The size, if you can see well or not. If you can't see very well, make it bigger. And box opacity, you can look down the bottom. That gives you a box so it stands out a bit better against the background. Okay, but I don't need them, and that is that. And I'm very pleased to be done. My voice is killing me. So thank you for being here today. I hope that's helpful. I do other stuff on this channel. There may be some Zombie Army 4 coming. I don't always speak like this. But usually Battlefield, Destiny and other shooters. So if you're new here, subscribe, like if it was helpful. Here's the board of awesome for the epic people who support the channel on Patreon. They're all absolute heroes and love them more deeply and of course often. If you want to join them on the board of awesome, the links to the Patreon page is in the description and my pinned comment. And with that all said, I am Get Good Guy and I will see you next time. Laters. Can currently drop with this super potent combination. Yep, just 3 guns. So the fact that the steel feather repeater is easily farmable makes this an even more relevant subject to cover. But before we look directly at the perks, let's very quickly cover the basics of this weapon. So, steel feather repeater itself is a rapid fire frame auto rifle.